This has major impact for the Memphis Grizzlies. Of course, today we're talking about all-rookie team selection center Zach Edey and how he could turn a mildly impactful offseason into a monster upgrade for his game. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Grizzlies Digest. I'm Tristan Harlen. Excited to be back with you. Hope you guys have had a great weekend, great week up to this point, and having a great day so far as well. But, of course, like I said, I'm Tristan Harlen, and you already know what time it is. It's time to talk about you subscribers. 62.3% of you guys are not clicking that subscribe button for reasons I do not know. But to my 37.7% of you guys, I say thank you so much for your support. To the 62% of you guys, I'm sure you're waiting for the regular season to start. But hey, I love your support anyway. Of course, we're talking about the main guy, the main center, if you will, Zach Edey, star player from Purdue, coming off his rookie season where he had a great year. Of course, this offseason, he's had a little bit of issues where first it was the speeding ticket, now then it was the ankle surgery, and now everybody's up in arms of when Zach Edey's going to be back on the court for the Grizzlies and what that timetable looks like. But, I mean, just look at his recent activity, okay? First, in April, he struggled at 26 minutes. He only had 4 points against the Thunder in Game 2 of the first round of Western Conference playoffs. Then he was efficient in the defeat. Of course, he had 2 assists, 1 block, 7 rebounds, 9 points when the Grizzlies lost in Game 3. Set the franchise record at the rim where he totaled 8 points, 8 rebounds, 1 assist, and 7 blocks over 33 minutes before fouling out. Then, of course, this summer it was announced that he will undergo ankle surgery and he will be reevaluated in 4 months. So 7, 8, 9, 10, he'll be reevaluated next month. When he's going to start, who knows? Will he be ready by opening night? Time will tell. Of course, if you're not subscribed already, make sure you click that subscribe button, because if you don't want to miss when Zach Edey's going to be back on the court and want to know the latest updates with the Grizzlies, it's everybody's favorite price, $3.99. But again, we're talking about Zach Edey and this guy who, as I forget to click the graphic up, per usual, last season almost averaged 10 points a game, almost averaged 10 rebounds a game as well, and only averaged about 21 and a half minutes a game. Now, for some of you, I know you want to see that number increase. You want to see the points increase, the rebounds increase, so on and so forth. Now, I'm going to tell you, here's how Zach Edey can be a dominant player. Now, I'm not going to take too much of your time today, but I do want to kind of chat with you a little bit. Now, in order for Zach Edey to be a dominant player this year, in my opinion, I feel like there's 2 things he has to accomplish. One, he has to get healthy. Now, that's a give me. Everybody knows he needs to get healthy. And the second thing he needs to do is he kind of needs to transform his game. Now, what I mean by transform his game is, instead of being a back-to-the-basket type player that we've seen him been in his rookie season and what we saw at Purdue, he needs to become a reliable scorer that can score from anywhere on the floor. Now, I'm not saying he needs to become Steph Curry or he needs to become the greatest three-point shooter known to man. What I'm saying is he needs to up his productivity level to where if he's anywhere inside the arc, he's lethal from. If you get him where he's backing you down, he has a nasty fadeaway. Or if you get him wide open from the midi, he can hit it. I mean, I'm not saying he needs to be Sean Livingston level of consistent from the mid-range. He still needs to kind of develop something to where it takes the load off Jaren and Ja just a little bit. Of course, go back to the Desmond Bane trade. Now that the 3-point level scorer is gone, who does that fall on to kind of up that productivity level? Is it, maybe KCP? Is it maybe Ty Jerome? I mean, who is it? Who knows? But in order to go from an all-rookie selection to an all-NBA selection, I definitely feel like he needs to be kind of getting better on the defensive side of things and become an efficient scorer from anywhere on the court. Now, again, I would love to see Zach Edey drain a consistent 3 every 5 possessions. But the realistic part of that is he's so tall and he's so dominant that if he does too much, you run the risk of an injury. Now, again, You've seen that in centers before. I mean, Yao Ming had his injury issues there towards the tail end of his career. Of course, Shaq had his tail of injuries, but that was just because he wasn't getting in shape. So I don't have that fear for Mr. Edey. But the biggest takeaway that I can say that the Grizzlies need to look out for and that fans like ourselves need to look out for as we go back and we look at some of his stats, it's definitely one of those things where I don't know. I want to sit here and say that, you know, in order to be dominant, he needs to start averaging 15 to 16 points a game, averaging 20 rebounds a game. But, like, that, here's the thing. Like, that's not as great as that would be and as fantastic as I think that we would be sitting in the Western Conference if that was true. The biggest issue with that is that it takes away from Ja and Jared, or it takes away from some of the minutes some of these other guys are getting. Now, the fact that the Grizzlies are continuously going out and signing big men is kind of it's a good thing to know, but it's also a little bit of a questionable thing. And I apologize for continuously scratching out my nose, but all of a sudden, it seems like every time I do these videos, my nose starts running. But it seems like when you put everything together and you kind of line it up in the timeline of where we are in the NBA offseason, it definitely feels as if the Grizzlies are starting to find that worst case scenario. Now, is that a bad thing? No, not at all. But it's one of those things to where, what are they going to do when Zach Edey comes back and he's playing 30 minutes a game? What are they going to do when Zach Edey comes back and possibly is in a running for an All-Star selection, or an All-NBA defensive team, or something crazy along those lines to where they got to axe out all these players so that they can re-sign Ja in the offseason, or they can re-sign somebody, or they can go out and get a big name in free agency or at the deadline or something like this. But overall, for Zach Edey now, and I'm going to go back to the stats one more time just so we have a point of reference. But one more thing that Edey needs to do is get his rebound numbers up. Now, 8 rebounds a game, yes, that's great. But for a center, realistically, I want to see it at 12. Now, what does that mean for his productivity, his shooting splits, all things considered? I think if you got to find a place to almost sacrifice. And if you sacrifice the three-pointer, you keep him inside the paint, you keep him in the mid-range area, then you possibly see an Edey get more rebounds once he comes back. Now, when's he going to come back? Time will tell. But in order for Zach Edey to be a dominant player this season, of course, he's got to get healthy. He's got to develop a constant shot. Now, shot doesn't mean a putback dunk, doesn't mean a dunk into transition, doesn't mean an easy layup or free throws. It means a mid-range shot, shots from the baseline, possibly a deep 2, or maybe even a 3. That's just my opinion. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. How does Zach Edey become a generational talent that we already know he's possibly going to be? How does he become one of the greats? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. It's been another episode of Grizzlies Digest. I'm Tristan Harlen signing off. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.